Hello everyone, thank you for joining me. Cindy here from CLB Craft Creations with another card project for you in our holiday card series for 2016. We are going to be using the Stitched with Cheer set today, and we're actually going to be doing some embossing as well as die cutting. So let me go through the supplies real quick. Again, the Stitched with Cheer. We're going to be using a piece of Whisper White cardstock, which is cut at 8.5 by 5.5, and it's scored at 4.25. We're going to be using a piece of Soft Sky, which is cut at 4 by 5.25. And then I have some of the silver foil paper, and we're just going to be using a little piece of this, but I just cut a strip. We're going to be using some of the silver 1/8 inch ribbon. We need Versamark ink because that's what we're going to be stamping with. So Versamark ink, your Stampin buddy, and I am using the circles from the Stitched Circles or the Stitched Shapes dies, but you could certainly use any of the shapes that you want, or you could even use your circles or your scallops. So it does not have to be these specific, but that's what I'm using. And then your heat gun and some silver embossing powder. So let's get started. The first thing I want to do is actually I'm going to stamp, or I'm going to heat emboss on my piece of Soft Sky. So I'm going to use my embossing buddy, and I'm just going to run that all over. And now I'm going to get my Versamark ink and my snowflakes from the stitched die, or from the Stitched with Cheer. I'm using the large snowflake, then I have this little kind of starburst, and then this tiny little burst. So we're going to be doing that on all over the front of the card. And it's just very random, so I'm going to start with my largest image first and just stamp that all over the card. And we are going to be die cutting a window, so this is kind of a peekaboo card. So we're going to die cut a window in here, but I wanted to do my stamping before I did that, just so that I made sure that the pattern was continuous enough for me. Should have a little piece of scrap here, but now my window is going to go somewhere here. I think I'll do one more piece of it right there. And I can see this. I know you probably can't, but I'm going to go ahead and with my medium size, I'm just going to get all my stamping done. My medium little star. Just be careful when you're touching the cardstock so that you don't add, any more oils, since you've already done your anti-static. Now I'm just going in with the tiny little burst. Just kind of filling in. Okay, and I'll do one more over here. I think that looks good. All right, so I'll put this away for right now. We will need to use that again for our sentiment, but we're just going to go ahead and get this done first. These out of the way, so I'll bring my big shot in here too. So I'm just going to take my stamped piece, and I'm just going to roll it in my box and cover that with the silver embossing powder. Make sure you get off any excess. Now I purposely left this spot right here kind of blank, just because I am going to be cutting that out. But you could have done the whole thing and then figured out the best place to do that. All right, let me get my heat gun in here. We'll heat this up. Now that's done. I just love the look of embossing, especially silver and gold. I still remember the first time I ever saw the silver embossing, or actually any embossing done. It was kind of magical, actually. Okay, so now I'm going to bring in my Big Shot. Get this out of the way. Zoom out just a little bit so you can see. Okay, just got my magnetic plate. I've got my other cutting plate. I'm going to put that down on there, and I'm going to take this is the third or the second smallest, and I'm just going to center that up in that area. And you will cut off some of your snowflake, that's okay. Now I'm kind of focusing on the top third of the card here. I'm actually going to go down just a little bit. And then I'm going to take my other cutting plate and I'm going to put that on top, run that through. Okay, we'll pop that out. We'll go ahead and do all of our die cutting now. So there's the hole in my card. I'll put that aside. And then this certainly could be used maybe as a tag or something. It's too pretty not to use, to be honest. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and take same sandwich, so my magnetic platform, my cutting plate. Now I'm going to take my silver foil and I'm going to put my smallest circle in the middle, and then I'm going to take the next size up, so this is the second smallest and then the third smallest, and I'm going to put that, and I'm just going to center that inside, and I'm going to run that through, and I'm basically making a frame. Sorry. Okay. Take this out. And now I've created a little frame that's got our stitched pieces on it. And then again, here is another piece that can be used on another project. So you save those. And now I need to cut one more hole, and that's going to be on my card base. So I'm going to put my magnetic cutting plate, my magnetic cutting platform, and then I'm going to take my clear piece, and now I'm going to, actually I'm just going to put a little bit of adhesive, just a tad, just so it holds it in place, and we're going to put this on the card front, and I'm going to basically, like I was just doing a normal layering, it's just a temporary hold so that we can get the placement. Okay, put my piece of cardstock in there, and now I want to put I just kind of want to put that die on there so that it's right there in the hole. And I'm going to actually leave that piece on there just because I want to make sure that it cuts all the way through, or it cuts in the spot that I want it. It's got to be lined up. So just run that through. And when you roll that on there, you can feel it kind of fit into the groove. So you will feel it lock into place. All right, now you just remove that, and now we've got another piece that you can use for another project as well. So there's lots of scraps that you can use on this. But now we've gone ahead and put our window in there, and we're done with the Big Shot. So I'm going to get that out of the way. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and remove this gently. And that's okay. We're going to cover over that anyway. So now I'm going to go ahead and fold my card base. Use your bone folder to reinforce that. Now my card is going to be going this direction, so I know you can't see that hole, but you could also just kind of do a quick little trace on that hole if you wanted, and then you could stamp on the inside, but I'm actually just going to stamp my sentiment right through the middle because it fits in there just perfectly. So I am going to get my Versamark ink. Oh, and I actually want to swipe the inside of my card with my my powder bag. Okay. And then I'm going to ink this up with the Versamark ink. Now I'm using the Peace and Happiness to You and Those You Love. Okay, and now I'm just going to hold that down with my fingers, and I'm going to center that in the middle. Okay, just press down, give it a second for all that ink to transfer. Okay, I'll pull that up, and now I'll open this up and I will cover the inside. Now you could use a spoon if you wanted. I'm going to cover the inside. Actually, I will need to use a spoon. We'll see what we can do here. I did not bring a spoon down with me. This is not ideal. Let's just fold it open. All right, now I may have gotten some of this embossing powder trapped in other areas, so I'm going to make sure that I give it a quick look, make sure that I don't have embossing powder where I don't want it. A spoon would have been much better in that scenario, but we're okay. Take some with my fingers. Okay, now I'm just going to go ahead and heat this. Now, if you don't want to heat emboss this, then you could have easily just stamped that in either soft sky or even in the black ink. That would have looked pretty as well. All right, so I want this to dry. So we'll let that just cool down for a second, and we'll take our little frame and we will attach that. I'm just going to use snail. That's what I've got handy. I'm going to get a little piece of scrap here, and I'm just going to run snail all around the edge. And then I'm just going to line that up with the circle that we cut out. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Oh, I think that's so pretty. Okay, and now we can go ahead and attach that to the front of our card base. Now you have a little bit of warping because you're doing the embossing, so make sure that you add enough adhesive so that it kind of helps to flatten out your card. And again, you're going to want to match up that circle in the middle with your layering piece. Okay. And actually, before I even add the ribbon, that looks really pretty. So you could have it just like this. I think that looks very pretty. Give this just a little press there. So you could be finished right there, but I'm going to go ahead and just add a tiny little bow. I'm going to attempt to tie this on camera. I don't want it too big because I don't want it to take away from the snowflakes. Okay, so I think that's big enough. Go ahead and trim it up. Get a glue dot. And I'm just going to add that right down here at the bottom of my circle. And there you have it. There is our day 11 for our holiday card series. And I hope that you enjoyed this card project. Give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and leave me a comment. And I will see you in the next video.